We're the 1867 collective, we're here to dominate. We're the kings of real.
No, Conversations with Broker Brad is what we call this. So we are back with somebody new, and I'd like to introduce Miss Carrie Peter to the show. Come on down. If you didn't know, Carrie, you didn't get to hear it in your headphones, but we have a studio audience with us here today.
Oh, nice.
So we have people watching and listening, and obviously you saw as you walked down the aisle that there are several people. But
Yes.
I just wanted to remind you of that. So hey, thanks for doing this, Carrie.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
We have fun doing this. It's nothing formal. I mean, again, you kind of saw what we did with John Acevedo when we first introduced him. So are you the newest agent in terms of 1867? You might be. I mean, you're not the
think
newest in
so.
terms of like experience.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for just a tad here, but I think you are the newest one to 1867.
I think so.
Because when did
February.
February of 2024.
Yes.
Okay. So we are in June already.
Yeah.
So 2 to 5, so 3 months, 4 months,
That's crazy.
something like that. Okay, so tell us your background. Real estate background. When did you officially like start, and maybe even why did you do it? I guess.
I started just over 3 years ago, so February 21. I got my license,
Okay.
but I started the classes and the interest in 2020. I had been working insurance, and Allstate laid off a bunch of people.
What, like you were in claims, or what?
I
did you
did
do?
underwriting.
You did
so
underwriting,
I looked at
okay.
medical records, like medical underwriting. So I looked at medical records, reviewed your labs, and determined your risk
For life insurance.
for life insurance.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, cool.
And then, so I'd worked there for 16 years,
Oh wow.
and then got let go in 2020. My husband supported my jump into the real estate world.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah,
What does he do?
he works at Nestle Purina.
Oh,
He's,
does he really?
Yeah. He's
Okay. Where?
Crete.
In Crete.
Yeah.
Okay. Because is there the nest?
There is a Nestle on Cornhusker, but it's
There is.
it's for like
gosh.
horse feed stuff.
Oh, okay. You read my mind. I was trying to spit it out. And
I
I'm
said
like,
the same thing when I met him. I was like, "Oh, you're right there," and he's like, "No,
No, I'm not.
No.
So okay, so he drives to Crete every day.
yeah."
Oh, okay. Is it like is it normal-ish hours, 9 to 5, or is it more?
He's early. He's 6 to 2.
He's 6 to 2. Okay, but it's cool because then he's done earlier
Yeah, he gets
you
home
get
and
home
interrupts our day at
at 2 o'clock. Right.
if we're
right.
not done doing our things,
Right.
he interrupts the flow. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
home by 2:30, so it's nice. He's home early. Then we can
cool.
kind of go do stuff that people are still working. So
Right. Well, and that probably opens up some things for you too in terms of real estate.
Yes.
For showings and stuff like that. So that, I mean, your kids are a little bit older now, but so that you don't necessarily have to worry about, okay, well, who's with the kids and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
And I do
just-
trust my older one for like short ones, like if it's local to where we're at,
Yeah.
I can kind of like leave my kids at home and trust that he'll be okay because he's got a phone now, so he's a big boy.
There you go. What kind of phone does he have?
Oh, it's an iPhone.
Okay, yeah. Like some people do was it Gab phones?
The Gab. Well, we considered that, or there's another one that's kind of just for calling.
Yeah.
But with his baseball, we were like, well, we needed to be able to stream video at some point, sometimes
yeah.
for the games. So we got him an iPhone.
So it's okay. So it's fun because Carrie is a very busy woman, and so she's touched on a couple of things already. So we'll talk about a few of those things because that's again something that I really like to do for people is kind of introduce you to what's the other side of Carrie and others as we do these interviews and stuff like that. So okay, so yeah, real estate. Okay, so then married, he works in Nestle Purina. You've got how many kids?
2.
2 kids. Okay.
Yes.
Both boys.
Yes.
They are both heavily into baseball, or just the
No,
oldest?
just the oldest.
Yeah, okay.
My youngest is into Taekwondo.
He's into Taekwondo. Okay. Where did you take Taekwondo at?
Swanson's Martial Arts on like Old Cheney, like 40th and Old Cheney, 48th and Old Cheney.
40th and Old Cheney. Okay.
It's where it
There's like an Ace Hardware there?
no, FedEx.
FedEx. Oh, yeah. 48.
Is it FedEx
Okay.
or UPS?
Yep, FedEx.
One of those two.
Yes, I know exactly where you're talking about now. There's like a Shell gas station over there.
Yes, and
Earl
there's like
May
little
is down the road
scooters.
a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wait,
Gotcha.
Earl May? Yes.
Yeah, at 48.
Or, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he's into Taekwondo. But okay, so baseball season is now.
And
Summer.
It's ridiculous.
Really baseball season.
It's bad.
Okay, so tell me this. Is your son hoping to grow a mullet and be like all the
No.
other baseball players? No.
We have a kid on our team that has a mullet.
See?
And a lot of kids have like longer hair. He used to have longer, shaggy or curlier hair.
Uh-huh.
But he says it bothers him now. So now he's got a shorter cut.
So he's got short hair. Dude, I'm with him. I during the pandemic went for a little while when they wouldn't let us cut our hair or whatever. I like it sucked because I hate having hair on my ears and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's his thing. He doesn't like it on his ears. And I loved it because he had like little ringlets.
Yeah, he had little curls.
Cutest curls. And
And I'm sure for a boy, that's exactly what he was hoping for. Really,
Right.
really cute ringlets.
he was and I was.
Right, but
I
you're
was
happy
still in
about
charge.
Oh my gosh,
now
that is so awesome.
Now he's a little bit more independent. So
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm going to touch on a couple of things I know, and then I'm sure I'll learn some things that I don't know. Okay. So Carrie homeschools your
do.
2 kids. Have you done that since technically kindergarten age? No. Okay.
since the pandemic.
Since the pandemic. Oh,
Since
cool.
the pandemic.
Awesome.
So 2020, when I lost my job, it opened up all kinds of opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
The next day after I lost my job, we had conversations, and that's when I signed up for the real estate
Classes.
Yeah, I started classes, and I reached out to the real estate commission and talked to them about what I needed to do. And then as the summer progressed, my kids were super nervous to go back to school, and they didn't learn a lot. They regressed when school shut down.
Right.
So with the regression that he had already, I was nervous to put him back into an uncertain situation.
Sure.
So a lot of friends of mine were also having the same concerns. So we all were like, why don't we just homeschool for a year? It'll be fun. We'll do
Yeah.
it together. We'll build
Yeah.
a community.
Totally.
We'll lean on each other. And I was like, great.
Good for you.
And
Yeah.
then April Fool's came around, and I was like, guess what? I put you back in school. And they both cried. And they were like, no, we want to continue this. And
Aw.
so then I was like, oh, if this is going to be like a thing,
Yeah.
like we need to buckle down and like figure it out. Like,
Right. Totally.
So,
yeah.
yeah, we've been homeschooling for 4 years, just registered for the next year.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
So it was fun because for me at least, when you were getting started with us, like inadvertently, you kind of hit me with some homeschool knowledge in terms of like the state and local governments.
Yeah.
And things that you have to register for and benefits that there might be and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Is it in? I don't think it's in Nebraska. In other states, though, people actually get property tax credits if they homeschool.
I did not know that.
They don't do that here, right? No.
No, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I'm okay with
Right,
that.
right.
I don't have to report a whole lot. I don't
Sure.
have to provide grades and testing and all of that stuff.
Right.
Our
So
state's
maybe
pretty-
that's the exchange, right?
Yes.
If you get some of those benefits, you got to do all this extra crap.
In some states,
Yeah.
like they require testing every year, just like they do with public schooling and private
Oh, really?
schooling. And they require, which is the joy of homeschooling. You don't have to do those things.
Right. Totally.
So having that lifted, you just
Uh-huh.
have to, actually, you don't even have to like get permission.
Uh-huh.
You tell Nebraska, the state of Nebraska, you tell them your intent to homeschool and
Yeah.
how you're going to do it,
Yeah.
and what the grades, what the ages and grades of your kids are,
Right.
and who's going to be the teacher. And
Okay.
and then they say, okay.
Gotcha.
If you don't have all of the paperwork, like birth certificates and medical stuff, they ask you for that information. Yeah.
But so more, yeah, it's more informational as opposed to like I'm submitting this for approval.
Right. You don't
Right,
get
it's
they
more
don't
just-
approve it. You just tell them.
Yeah, you tell them what you're doing.
Yeah.
So then I think you maybe even told me this. How do you decide what you teach about? Where do you get curriculum for that?
So there's tons of homeschool curriculum. There's
Yeah,
more than
okay.
what you
Would think,
can
yeah.
imagine. There's probably 50 different curriculums out there.
Oh, cool.
So you kind of hone down, and there's a great list that somebody shared in one of the homeschooling groups. I have no idea who put it together, but it's amazing. What style of learning does your kid learn best with?
Okay.
What kind of curriculum? Do you want secular? Do you want religious? Do you
Oh,
want,
nice.
What do you want to teach?
Yeah.
The state requires, well, they don't, when I registered this year, it didn't have all of the information, but the state of Nebraska requires certain classes to be taught.
Okay.
Or general, like you have to do language arts and math and
Sure. Okay.
health used to be a requirement. I don't know if it still is, but health,
Yeah.
things like that. So then you decide what you want to do and then what style the kids work best
Yeah,
with.
learn
And
best,
then you
yeah.
kind of try them out. Some are free, some are very expensive. You get what you pay for.
Sure. Yeah. Right. Sure.
But you can find some really good ones that are down the middle. that aren't just all worksheets and then not all like writing projects. Because there's some that are very intense, writing heavy curriculums.
Yeah.
And then there's some that are just like a worksheet for the day.
Oh,
and
I
I
see.
feel like
Yeah,
you
right.
have to find a balance in between.
Sure.
Or just find out what works best for your kids. And so we did a lot of buying of curriculum that
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get
A lot of
used.
just trial and error.
A lot of
sort
trial
a
and
thing?
error.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes you find someone else is using it and you're like, oh, I want to try it out. So you kind of take a look at it and review
Right.
it and stuff like that. And that's nice. But yeah, usually you can't get samples.
Right, sure. Yeah.
Sometimes you can. Like the curriculum that we use now does have like a 1-day sample.
Uh-huh.
So if people were interested in what we were using, they could go and get a sample for free.
Okay.
And then they could try it out, see if it works for their kids.
Works for, right. Yeah, yeah, before diving into the whole thing. Okay, gotcha.
So I just go off what my kids are interested in. I don't make them do and conform to any specific thing. I find out what they're interested in and we pick that topic and we just kind of go.
Well, and it's so a good friend of mine, it was in a very similar situation as during the pandemic when, oh my gosh, such a terrible time in general, but during the pandemic when schools were like, okay, yep, we're going to come back to school, but everybody's got to wear masks.
Yeah.
Then she was like, never mind. I'm just going to keep my kids home.
That was kind of our situation.
A lot of kids are that way.
My kid has seizures, and I was
Really?
very my older, yeah.
Older does.
He hasn't had it in a couple years.
Oh, good. I'll find some wood. There we go. Oh, there's some wood right there.
So he hasn't had them in a couple of years. The last time was in probably 21 or 22 when we had COVID.
Right. Okay.
And he had a really high fever. But as an 11-year-old, he shouldn't have febrile seizures anymore.
Gotcha.
So he had them from like 18 months on, and they put him on medication. And when we had COVID, he was on the medication, and he had a breakthrough. So we've gone a different route. But because of that history, I was very afraid that he would have one,
Sure.
and nobody would know because they couldn't see.
Right. Couldn't see his face.
And they would accuse him of like sleeping at school because he had 2 at school in kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
So I was very nervous. He didn't have any in first grade, but at that point, I think he was on the medication.
Right.
But yeah, so I was very nervous and he was very nervous, and I was just like, we're just not going to do this.
Yeah.
You learn better with me anyways over the summer.
Good for you.
This is what we're doing. And so he was fine with it. My younger kid had only been in preschool and 2 a day preschool or 2 a week preschool. So he never actually has been in a school situation. And he's like, I don't want to go to school for 8 hours.
Right.
They're still sleeping. Like I can sleep until 10 and wake up and finish by lunch and then go play.
Right. Totally right.
So my kids have a different lifestyle than other
right
kids.
than most. Yeah.
And they're going to need a job that doesn't require them to be at work early.
Yeah, right.
Poor kids.
Oh, that is hilarious. Oh my gosh. So yeah, no, I did not know that about your son. But yeah, what a unique perspective though when it came to that whole argument and very heated debate about what should we and shouldn't do. I was more on that side of things just because I wanted to be, and it was my choice to not wear masks. I didn't want to, blah, blah, blah. You actually had a more of a legitimate reason.
I did.
A good reason
And
at that.
I just didn't want to either.
Yeah, right. But underneath, also.
Underlined. We're going to use that as an excuse. But really, in
Oh,
essence,
man. Good excuse, though. Holy cow. Jeez,
right?
yeah.
Like,
oh, my gosh.
No, we have medical restrictions.
Oh, wow. Such a crazy time. But yeah, so, totally. Again, good for you for continuing on because, again, you probably saw this where several moms and dads were like, okay, great. Now that they don't have to wear masks, back to school.
Yeah. I had a lot of friends that were like, one ended up putting them at Lincoln Christian where it was an option. The second year, I had another friend that put their kid into Parkview.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that another
Yes,
one?
yes.
Yeah.
It's like up north, right?
It's north and it's a private.
First and Superior, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, okay.
So they put their kids in private school where there was a little bit more leniency, where it was only in the halls and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, right.
But my kid was very adamant he didn't want to go back to school.
Just
and I
in
don't know
general,
if there was something that happened or if it was more of a, hey, I have it really easy here. Like,
Right.
not easy.
Oh,
We do
sure.
hard stuff. Like, we do all the hard stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
But he's done, if he gets up and he gets it done,
Mhm.
and at 11, I do put more of it on him. We do group stuff, and I
Mhm.
double check everything. But, like, there's a requirement of you read for this long, you do your handwriting, you do your
Right.
cursive, and then you do your math, and then we'll work together on this stuff.
Sure, yeah. That makes sense.
And he can come to me for anything that he has questions on. But if you get it done, We can go outside. We can go to the park. We can go to the ball field. We can go do this.
Right.
We can go have lunch with friends.
Yeah, totally.
My youngest does taekwondo, and he's in a homeschool class for taekwondo, so it's during school hours.
Okay.
So it's like
Oh,
from 2 to
nice.
3 in the afternoon.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's small.
Yeah.
It's intimate.
Yeah.
He gets more one-on-one attention.
Right.
He has in a year and a half. He's a purple belt.
Cool. Awesome.
So he's already
Yeah, moving up the
moving
belts.
up the ranks.
Yeah, I
So,
love
yeah.
that. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. Well, incredible again. And like I always like to say, like, so with John and others, as we learn things about people, truly, you're a resource. I mean, for some of our people and agents
yeah.
that, as they have clients and them themselves that are considering that sort of thing, because especially again, people moving from out of state, homeschooling is so different, and I think more widespread in larger states, obviously, because there's more people. So there's going to be a little bit more widespread. But so knowing the different rules and the different things from state to state can be very difficult.
Yeah.
Similar to how, I mean, people want to know, well, what school district is this house in? Well,
Yeah.
people are going to be moving here wanting to know, okay, well, I homeschool my kids. So how do I do that in this state?
Yeah.
And it's like, for a person like me, I don't know much about that. So, I mean, for like, you would absolutely be a resource to those people. And then just to us as a company,
Oh, yeah.
to be able to do that sort of a thing. So
I think everybody should homeschool.
definitely a cool thing. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome thing. So then, okay. So the other thing I know about you that's also, it speaks much more to who I am based on my appearance, is that you cook sourdough bread. That's really, really, really good.
Yeah,
And-
apparently.
And I know.
It sold
'cause
out
people are
last
buying
night.
it. I know. So it was, and what were we doing? Oh, we were at my wife works for the Department of Education, and I should hook you up with her actually. But so we had to go to this thing last night, so we didn't get to go down
Yeah,
to
we
J
noticed.
Boutique. I know. I'm sorry. I know.
I noticed there was an empty booth.
So we didn't get to go, but yeah. So it went well.
It was slow because
Okay.
there wasn't a lot of people set up. The one
Yeah.
in July, like next month, is going to have like 12 vendors.
Oh, really? There'll be more people.
There'll be a lot more vendors, so I think there'll be a lot more people sharing. But I sold out of my bread.
Nice.
Um,
Did you do a variety of breads
I,
and
d-
things?
I did
What'd you
four
do?
different with the top four. Like
Okay.
I went with the top four that everybody buys. I brought plain,
Uh-huh.
lemon blueberry, jalapeno cheddar, and cheddar.
Nice. Okay.
And so I had those. I did not make dinner rolls.
You did make oh
They're
man,
too
those are my
labor
favorite.
Intensive. They're
Yeah.
just they're too much work.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
needed
No, I
something
get
that
it.
could pop out quick.
For sure.
Bread was not quick apparently, but I did bread and then I did scones and cookies.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So John has scones upstairs.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't
You
know
might
that.
go and steal one.
I will, and I will definitely do that. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was fun, and I love making bread. And it went from homeschool experiment.
Yeah.
This is how did I tell you how it started?
No.
Okay, so we did an experiment where you take dirty hands, you go
Okay.
and run around outside, get your hands dirty, and then you take
Okay.
it and put it on a piece of white bread.
How dirty are we talking?
Like we did different variations. So we did kind of like play in the dirt,
Okay.
dirty,
Uh huh.
and then we did clean hands after we washed them,
Okay.
and then we did school for a little bit and touched things around the house, and then
Okay.
that kind of dirty. And then you put them in
That's
Ziploc bags.
awesome. Okay.
And then you put them in Ziploc bags, and in 2 days, they're supposed to grow mold.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
6 weeks later, we had no mold on any of them.
On anything. Oh,
and I was
gotcha.
like, that's a lot of preservatives.
Yeah.
We're not getting mold. Like,
Right.
it was gross. So I started looking into, like, making my own bread. And we
Wait.
did
So back up. So wait, what does that mean if there's no mold?
too many preservatives.
Preservatives in what?
The bread.
In the bread.
So
Okay.
to keep the shelf life forever. Like, sourdough lasts 3 to 5 days. Not because you're eating it so fast.
Yeah.
Typically, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
But because it's fresh and it doesn't have preservatives to extend the shelf life
Ah, sure.
that are just a chemical.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So because
Okay.
of that, it just never got moldy. And I was like, this is disgusting. What kind of chemicals are we putting in our body?
Sure. Yeah.
And so, like, is this adding to our health or deteriorating our
Absolutely.
health?
Making it worse.
So
yeah.
then we were like, let's look into yeast bread.
Yeah.
So I went and looked into yeast bread, went to Sam's Club and bought like a bulk of yeast. And I've used it twice.
Like how? Okay, so do it with your hands. How big of a box of yeast is it?
It was 2 bricks, like of the, and you use like a teaspoon
Right,
roll.
pearly. Yeah. I love it.
And I've made 2 yeast loaves, and that was it.
So awesome.
And then I was making the yeast loaf. I posted a picture of it. I was like, my family loves my bread, you know?
Yeah,
And my
yeah.
friend's like, you should try sourdough. And I was
Oh.
like, ooh, what's this fancy bread?
Yeah, right.
So she gave me some starter,
Okay.
and I had some fun. And then we went on vacation, and it kind of died.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was fun while it lasted.
Right.
And then like 6 months later, my friend's like, hey, I've got this like super active sourdough starter. Do you want some? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
I had fun with that.
Yeah.
So I started it again.
Cool.
And it wasn't even like I had intentions of like this turning into a
Anything,
thing.
right? Yeah.
I was just gonna make for my family again.
Sure.
So then I
Yeah.
started experimenting, and apparently it became popular again. And so now everyone was like, "Oh, can you teach me how you make sourdough?" So then I started having classes. I should have known this was gonna escalate.
Yeah.
So I started having classes,
Escalated
and
quickly.
very, very quickly. Like this happened at like Christmas.
Oh, really?
That's how fast
Okay.
this is escalated.
Yeah, totally.
So like she gave me the sourdough right around November, December. And so I started cooking because Christmas time I made cinnamon rolls. So I know
Yeah.
I had it before Christmas.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah.
And so I made cinnamon rolls, made
Mhm.
breakfast stuff like scones and donuts. Those are really good in the air fryer.
Goodness, yeah. Holy cow.
But then I never did bagels until just recently. But then I started making it for, friends and like whatever, closing gifts. I'd give it to
Yeah,
clients
yeah,
and things like that. I'm
totally.
like, fresh
Excellent
bread is a
closing
great
gift.
closing gift.
Holy cow, yeah.
So I would start doing that. And then, so the classes started, and I had so much interest. I had 5 classes with about 4 to 7,
Yeah.
8 people in each class.
Sure.
And that escalated. And then people came to the class and were like, yeah, pump the brakes. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Will you bake for me? And I was like, are you
Maybe.
sure you want me to bake for you? Like, your
Right.
bread's so good. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Right,
So
yeah.
then I went and investigated what it would take to get a cottage license to bake bread and sell it.
What is a cottage license? Whoa, okay.
It's a license that you need to sell and bake things out of your home. So like jellies, jams, bread,
Okay.
eggs, stuff like that. All
Yeah.
that stuff is covered under Nebraska cottage law.
Cottage license.
So it's not like I'm
Oh
a
my
bakery.
gosh, I've never heard of this. Oh, crazy.
It's a little like 10-minute course through UNL. And it's only $25.
No way.
So it doesn't cost a lot. So yeah, you go through that, and it is food handling and all that stuff of how
Yeah,
to properly
right.
like not have the cat climbing over the loaves of bread, and the dirty children helping, like things.
Sure. Yeah,
things
right.
like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Normal common sense things.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
think.
totally.
And so I did that, and then I was like, okay. So then I put it out there on Facebook, like, would anybody even be interested if I did this?
Mhm.
And I baked, and like it was overwhelming. I was like, oh crap. There's an interest. Okay.
Yeah,
So I
totally.
opened up a little menu and posted it out for everybody. And
Yeah.
every week I've got orders. So,
my
I mean, it was the first few weeks were huge. And then it kind of died down, which was fine because we were going on vacation and stuff.
Yeah, it worked out.
And then I introduced scones, and then it picked up again.
Uh-huh.
And then I introduced bagels, and it was crazy when I did bagels. Because they're really good.
Right. Yeah.
So then,
have
then
you made bagels recently?
Yeah.
Have you really?
Just started.
Oh,
They're not pretty yet. I'm still
They're not-
working on getting them pretty.
Gotcha.
But
I
yeah,
was like, I
I
haven't
did
seen those in the orders. So okay.
everything bagel seasoning on the bagels.
Uh-huh.
Asiago cheese
Oh, nice. Yeah.
and cinnamon,
There you
brown
go.
sugar, kind
oh
of
my
like
gosh. Yeah.
kind of like the Panera ones.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
claim to be as good.
Those
but
are
yeah.
nuts. Oh
They're
man.
so good.
Those are really good.
So those are the
Okay.
3 that I don't even do plain because they look ugly.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Right.
we'll work on getting them looking better before
Sure,
I
sure.
start doing the plain ones.
Yeah.
They're really good. Breakfast sandwiches.
So how often do you feel like you're baking every day now?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Not
Not even for
even.
my weekly porch pickups.
Yeah.
I bake the morning of.
Yeah.
So
okay.
like I prep it, and I make sure I have all the ingredients, and then I prep it, and
Yeah.
I bake. So it
Oh, nice.
takes like a day. It's
Oh, how nice
it's a
is
lot
that,
of
though?
waiting.
Right.
Because
Sure.
you're waiting for it to rise, and then you're waiting for it to
Right.
mix and all the things. So like it's not a lot of hands-on stuff. It's a lot of waiting.
Yeah.
It's the baking process that's the most time intensive.
Because, like, okay, so for a loaf of sourdough bread, how long from the time you stick it in the oven to the time it's ready? How long does that take?
Oh, like 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay.
But like,
Is it on low
It's a
heat?
two-day process.
Right. Yeah,
to
yeah.
get
There's
to
a
the
ton of
bake.
lead up to it.
No, you bake it at 450
Oh,
for
it's pretty
25
high.
minutes, and then you take the lid off of your Dutch oven and for 20 more minutes, and then you let it brown up. So like
Okay.
45 minutes, and then you gotta let it sit for an hour. You
So
can't touch it.
okay, so 25 of the first 45 minutes is in a Dutch oven?
It's in a Dutch oven the whole time. So the Dutch oven with the lid
Really?
on for 25
I did
minutes.
not know that part.
And then you take the lid off, and then it browns up because the steam in the Dutch oven is what causes it to rise
Oh.
and get nice and
Wow.
fluffy.
Again, see, I just thought stick it in the oven, conventional oven.
Yeah,
But no, in a Dutch oven. Okay.
because that's why they're round most of the time.
Gotcha. Because
I do
does it
have
take up
some.
most of the space within
Yeah.
the oven? Yes, that's why it's round.
So I
that
have
way.
3 Dutch ovens I can maneuver into my oven at once. So I can
Yeah.
make 3 loaves
Okay.
roughly an hour.
Roughly an hour. Okay.
And I
Well,
make-
that was going to be another
yeah.
question I had, is because if you just have the one Dutch oven, it'll take a lot longer.
I
but
have.
okay.
I could make 4 if I could fit the 4th one in,
Yeah.
but I can't.
I mean, is there such a thing as like industrial sized Dutch ovens to where you could fit
Well,
a ton in there?
Yeah, you could. I was talking to John about this.
Yeah?
Upstairs. There's a stove. There's an oven, not a stove. An oven that makes bread, and it has steam injected because that's the biggest thing. You need steam.
Oh, okay.
So if
Need
you
the
were to
steam.
buy like a Subway, people buy the Subway bread things.
bread, sure.
But they don't have steam.
They don't have
So-
steam. Oh,
So
gotcha.
you need the steam. So they have them specifically for sourdough bread or yeast bread or things
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And they'll make 16 loaves at a time,
Woo.
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But they're expensive. They're
Yeah,
like
right. I bet. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
$7,000 for one of those.
Right. I'm sure it's
So-
restaurants and
Yeah.
major producers that only use those.
Well,
anyway, so-
there's some cottage people that have them
That
because
really that
they
have
do
'em?
they do farmers markets.
Oh,
And so
gotcha.
if you can crank out 16 an hour, what can you do in a 10-hour day
Yeah. Yeah.
or
Okay.
7 hours leading up to your farmers market?
Sure.
So yeah,
So do you? Okay. So okay, for people that don't already know about this, what is your business called that where you can buy bread?
Lighthouse Bakery.
Lighthouse
And I'm
Bakery.
going to create
okay.
a whole Facebook page.
Oh,
for
are
it,
you gonna
'cause,
create some social
yesterday
media
people were
for it?
like, "Do you have a page? Do you have a page?" And I was like, "No, but I will now."
Crap.
I will now. I even made little business cards and cut them out with a
Did you
paper
really?
cutter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if anyone's going to be interested, but
Right. Right. Yeah.
yeah, people took them. My son was like, "Here." I'm like,
Awesome.
"Oh, stop passing that out. I can't, we got to limit the amount of bread I make."
Right.
Like, I
Yeah.
have a small
Exactly.
oven.
I like how I could just do it for a day, not
Yeah.
just constantly
So,
over my whole life.
you know, it's fun. It's a fun side hobby, and everybody's like, "You just need a storefront," and I'm like,
Nah.
"Give me
Oh,
a
man.
couple years,
That's
maybe."
major, right?
that would
A
be fun.
storefront. That'd
A
be cool.
storefront, and then my kids just do school in the back and
Yep.
help out.
Right?
Free labor, right?
Absolutely.
The-
Totally
the
right.
Labor law will restrict
Yeah.
kids there, right?
Labor laws.
Labor,
oh
one
my
of
gosh.
those.
Oh, that's so great. Oh, that's so funny.
So yeah, I have people want me
Oh.
to ship bread, but I don't think you can because it only
Oh.
lasts like 2 to 5 days. So
Well, right. So it'd go bad by the time they got there.
I would think so.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $60 to ship you a $20 loaf of bread.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
$15 loaf. That's not worth it.
Yeah. No, that's totally nuts.
Make it yourself.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, that's so. Yeah, again, something completely and totally interesting again about you that I don't think. I mean, I think some people know. And maybe more and more people are knowing here at the company, but not everybody knows it. So, so no, it's look, we as realtors, we do so much. We keep ourselves so busy with real estate,
Yeah.
and things like that. But we all have hobbies, side businesses. We're going to talk to some people that have full-time jobs in addition to real estate.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're all different, and so again, I like to, that's one thing that we kind of like to highlight amongst all of our agents is that we're all different individuals. Ironically though, here at 1867, we all have very, very similar ideologies and beliefs and culture, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting how we've all just kind of gravitated towards each other.
I think that there's something to be said about a culture that just pulls you in,
Yeah.
where you feel like everybody is on the same path,
Same page, sure.
same
Yeah.
page, same everything. So yeah, I think
It's been nice.
it's
for sure.
cool.
Well, I guess we're really glad that you're here at 1867 Collective. So appreciate everything that you do for
Thanks.
1867 Collective. But
Well, I was talking about it yesterday, and like somebody's like, "Oh
yeah.
yeah, I know
Oh, good.
them."
Yeah.
Allie from
Oh, yeah,
Greater
yeah. From
Good?
Greater Goods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's friends with Kylie Peterson.
Yes.
They're good buddies. Well, and I guess I'm not quite there. We're acquaintances at this
She said
point.
she knows you through basketball.
Yeah. Our kids are friends.
Yeah.
Allie and her husband are super cool people.
They were super cool. He came over. He tried a sample of jalapeno cheddar.
Oh,
and
did
he
he?
went back. And then he came back. He's like, yeah, I'm going to need one of those.
Yeah, right.
It was so funny. But yeah, we grabbed their goods. They grabbed ours. It
Right.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So cool. Well, good. Well, hey, that's honestly like this is kind of what we do for our podcast. We just get to talk and it's just really easy breezy. So hopefully it was easy breezy
Oh, yeah.
for you. Good. I know that, again, people kind of stress out about it when I ask them to come on here, but truly we just kind of sit and just have a conversation. Again, it's not everybody's going to have time to necessarily watch the full 30 minutes or whatever of our podcast, but hopefully someone is watching and can relate to what you're saying, what I'm saying, and can find some commonality.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of times, unfortunately, in the world, we just all feel like we're alone and nobody understands and
Yes.
stuff like that. So
It's
it's always
cool.
nice when we can have commonality.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Good. Well, hey, this is Conversations with Broker Brad. So until next time, I guess, when we have somebody else, Carrie Peter again, thanks for being
Thanks for
on here,
having me.
and we'll do it something else another time. So,
Okay.
Thanks, Carrie.
Bye.
That's it. Yeah, we'll do it.
We won't get lost.